Hi everyone, welcome back to the MedSpeed Podcast. My name is Christian Foster and I am a fourth year medical student at the UWI Modern Campus. And in this podcast, I interview persons in the healthcare field, specifically in the Caribbean, to share their experiences, advice, and overall perspective of the healthcare field. In today's episode 5, 2 years later, I'll be interviewing Mr. Rasheed Fontenelle, a fourth year medical student and a colleague of mine, who has been at the top of our class for as long as I can remember and is probably one of the most well-rounded students that I know. Rasheed is also from the Eastern Caribbean, specifically St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I'll be asking him about his experience navigating through medicine in a foreign land. Welcome to the podcast, Rasheed.
Alright, man, thank you so much for having me here.
No problem, bro. Alright, so let's just get right into it. So I'm to start off the podcast by asking you, what was your reason for pursuing medicine and why did you choose to study medicine in Jamaica?
Medicine. Okay, so medicine definitely was not something on my mind for a very long time. As a matter of fact, a little backstory. As a child, I was deadly afraid of blood.
First?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hated the sight of blood, hated the smell of it, hated needles. But I grew up to that fear. What really drove me into medicine though, I always had a passion for the sciences, chemistry, biology, physics, but a particular passion for biology.
Okay.
And I was thinking about after school, okay, let me see, I might just study biochem and then that would take me anywhere.
That's after Cape or?
After Cape. Okay. Study biochem, probably at UWI. But then I was like, I don't want to see plants anymore. I hate it.
I hate plant biology.
Didn't like anything about plants, and I was like, okay, what do I really like in biology? And human anatomy, human physiology, that was extremely interesting to me. So that was like my platform for going into medicine. Okay. And then I realized, okay, I could go into medicine, and when I'm finished, I could go into so many different avenues. Yeah. So that's really what started me into medicine. Why specifically Jamaica though? Well, I received a scholarship for any UWI University as a benchmark. Okay, that's from St. Vincent. That's from St. Vincent, yes. And I was looking at different universities, and I just think that Jamaica was
the best out of them.
And I mean, my dad as well went to Mona.
He came
so,
in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had to.
Yeah, I think that was it for me. I was really taught, and I think because my sisters went to the others, they had that experience. Right. And then Barbados is way more expensive. Yeah. So I was like, the best option is probably Jamaica. Yeah, man. Alright, thanks for that, man. Alright, so you've always been somebody who has maintained a stellar academic report. So what are some of the things that you think give yourself that advantage in keeping your GPA high?
Well, I must say maintaining a well-structured routine. Okay. The thing is with a routine, getting into it's like the hardest thing. Getting into a routine that you think that can foster productivity, foster efficiency is extremely challenging. Yeah. But when you get into it, it just comes like normal. It just comes like natural. The thing is with medicine, it can be very discouraging, and if you have to rely on motivation every day, you're definitely not going to be that far. So discipline and a structured routine that helped me a lot. I think as well, though, my study habits. Okay. Because I'm not the type to study for like marathons. I need breaks. I
just always assumed you would have been somebody who just goes like 10 hours straight.
And I hate textbooks. I'm not a textbook guy.
That's wow. That's a guy.
I like to start off with the high yield and then actually go back.
To go to the lower yield. Okay.
I think that my study technique has definitely evolved throughout medical school. I think that's what kept my GPA a little bit good.
Okay, so like what? So you say you already use textbooks. So what really do you use?
Alright, so I do a lot of questions. Okay. I do a lot of questions.
Practice questions.
Yeah, practice questions. I do a lot of questions. Whether it be from past medicine, as I see that you have been
on past medicine.
UWorld, Ambas. I do a lot of questions, and I learn from the questions. Okay. That really helps me to kind of figure out what to now study and how to apply that information as well. Okay. Question based.
Yeah, the thing is, my problem is I love reading. I genuinely love reading textbooks, But it's like, because especially in fourth year, because the rotations are so short, it's really difficult to do that. So like I have to like always say, okay, let me just prioritize questions, and then you have to read around the questions. It's really hard to balance that. Yeah, maybe it's something I'll do.
And the thing is too with questions, it's not just doing them,
you have to
takes it actually takes a while to review the question, and there's like a whole study session in its entirety.
Yeah.
But I also love reading, but I find when I read, I just don't. The information doesn't stick as much as I want it to, in comparison to when I get a question wrong. I know I don't want to ever get this question wrong again. So I'm gonna make sure I understand the platform and the foundation to not get that question wrong again. Understand the concepts.
Yeah, that's like me and with Anki. Like I love just doing the cards, and I don't like getting them wrong. So like just
Anki's a really good resource as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think finally that's definitely something I might change instead of just reading a lot. Yeah, definitely. Alright, thanks for that, man. Alright, so on that topic, what are some of the ways that you think you stay balanced in med school? Yeah, how do you stay balanced?
Again, back to that whole routine thing.
Yeah.
Routine is definitely the driving force for my productivity and my whole well-being. I'm the type of person, I need structure to foster my daily life. It's not that, and the thing is, right, it doesn't have to be a rigid structure, it just has to be something that keeps me, okay, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do here? And the thing is, too, I feel like in medical school, you have to do something outside. You have to, like, you cannot just do medicine alone. I made that mistake in year 2 and year 3, and how I was feeling, I feel I don't want to ever.
Okay, you had to stop. You used to the track, right?
Yeah, I used to the track. I stopped track. I stopped the gym. I was just school, and it was the worst time. Like, it's horrible. Now I go to the gym, try to get a 4 days per week. I go at 5 in the morning. I think that definitely helps with structure as well. Yeah. Because the thing is, too, when you know you want to do these things, you have to make time for study.
Yeah.
Or the outside of you're not doing anything today, you might be like, pushing back things like when you have that rigid that structure, you know you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. I think that really helps with me.
So your main thing right now is gym?
Yeah, main thing right now is gym.
So how often you go?
I go try to go 4 days a week.
Okay.
So every other day.
Saturday. That's pretty much what I do. But I found like, especially like if I have tennis on a Sunday, I've noticed that Mondays I can't really do it.
Right.
So I take Monday for myself. Mondays I do it, and then I'm a fast now. You know how long Mondays are. So I'm like, let me take the Monday, and then I'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday more than likely be tennis.
Nice. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
But if sometimes I want the weekends to study, so I might do Monday, Tuesday.
And then I couldn't just do the school thing. And then when I was on Com Health, I was like, okay, I'm not doing no gym. I just wanted the time for myself. I hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to study. I wanted something more, and I realized it was that time. Yeah, man. So definitely gym. All right. So I mean, you touched on it a little bit. If you always wanted to pursue medicine, but if you didn't, what's another field that you would have?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So in high school, I loved literature. I actually thought I was going to do law.
Oh,
I really love literature.
Anybody in your family did law?
No, actually.
What?
No, actually. Neither medicine.
Okay. Are you first gen?
Yeah, I'm first gen. My immediate family.
Okay.
But I took a gap year after Cape.
Okay.
And I tutored. The chemistry, biology, physics from all the levels from secondary school all up to
Cape Uni too?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good, man.
I tutored. And I really like teaching. I really like teaching.
I
still tutor.
Yeah, that's sometimes.
I think that teaching is the foundation for not only you to solidify whatever information you have to relay, but you also have to impact others. And I really like teaching, and I think that's a realm of medicine that I love as well. That teaching aspect. So I want to leave that.
So you think you'll become like an associate lecturer at some point?
We'll have to see. But I definitely can see myself as an intern, even teaching medical students. As a senior teacher, relaying that information is something. So if I was not doing medicine, definitely would have probably pursue lecturing or teaching to some capacity.
Okay, that's nice, man. Yeah, I noticed that you have that natural knack for teaching.
And I do.
And then you did US as well.
Yes, I did US as well.
Yeah, man. So you have the experience.
Yeah,
so
man.
Definitely something you should consider for the future.
For sure.
Yeah, man. All right. So the next question, I want to say first of all, congratulations on passing the USMLE Step 1. It's a big feat. Big up yourself. So what exactly was your reason for sitting Step 1? And just speak a little bit about your experience preparing for the exam and what the actual exam was like.
Alright, so thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. Yeah.
Reason for doing Step 1. First of all, I have to thank my parents.
You got mom and
dad for doing this. So I'm that student. I want to have the best resources to help and to have a cohesive approach to my medical school, because I feel like you can't just rely on lectures in any extent of medical school. And that's what I found myself in year 1. Yes, my year 1 course was okay, but I found myself limiting myself to the resources I can use. Not that you want resource overload, but you definitely can step outside that box.
Definitely.
So year 2 now, I found some amazing resources. Anki, Sketchy, Pathoma, Ken Hub. I'm like, and then I started using them, and I realized I was in classes answering questions. I was here solidifying my foundation for physiology. Like, I was just understanding everything to a better level, and it helped me to be a better medical student in year 2. So I was like, where these resources really came from, where they come from, where they're driving from. And then I realized I watched some YouTube videos. I'm like, people using them for USMLE, using them for Step 1. I'm like, what is this whole step thing? Step 1, Step 2, Step thing. I was like around year 1, semester 1.
Okay.
So then I did a lot of extensive research about Step 1 and the whole ECFMG, USMLE pathways and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I am using these resources to help me be a medical student, why not just take the chance and do Step 1 and see where this path lies, see where I go with this path.
Yeah.
Because I do have family in America.
Okay.
I definitely want to specialize as soon as I can after medical school. So I was like, okay, why not? So then I spoke to my parents, and as crazy as I thought it was of an idea, they were 100% behind it, and they were like, okay, so just tell me a timeline, tell me how you're going to go about executing this plan, and we're going to support you with it. So it was year 2, semester 2, I think it finished around May, around that time. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a plan of how I'm going to go about doing this, and after year 3, so take like approximately a year, I'm going to see if I do the exam. Because the thing about my view on exams are that anybody can do an exam. Exams, yes, they are a measure of your intelligence, but they're not a full measure of it.
Yeah, like you're not going to tell
you're not going to tell if you're smart or not. You have to know how to prepare for an exam. You have to know what to do well in the exam, because it really doesn't reflect your true knowledge of whatever extent of a subject. So I was like, okay, I'm taking a year to prepare for this exam. I must pass. It's pass or fail. I must pass. And I had that idea in my mind, and I just started working from. So that break, I make sure I covered
between second and third year?
Yeah, second and third year. Yeah, second and third year. I covered all the foundation. I watched all my pathoma videos. I make sure fill in any blanks that I had that I didn't do before. And then I was like, all right, time to start the question approach, full head on, and fill in the blanks wherever I could. So like watch a video if I didn't understand this concept, that kind of stuff. No, it definitely was not an easy road.
I couldn't even imagine.
It was very trying because you have to prioritize your UE information, and you have to do Step 1. And yes, there are overlaps in some aspects, but it still is different information. And the thing is, with your UE content, they tend to hone in on specific type of information, while Step 1, specific detail to something you might never see again.
But we don't know, and management-wise, like we don't manage the same way Americans
manage. Exactly. But I still kept true to it. I still kept consistent, and I still followed the timeline that I put together. And I think that's what really helped me actually go about doing this. And
Okay, so what was the actual exam?
Alright, so the exam day. So I was lucky enough to get to do my exam in Trinidad, actually.
Oh, nice. I thought you were in America.
Yeah, I did it in Trinidad. Best center. It was so nice, and it was easier for me too because I got to go home right after that. So I was from Jamaica to Trinidad. Yeah. Now, even before that, I had my PEDS exam the week before I did step one. You know, like I had to stay so true to plan.
Yeah.
Like throughout the entire process, I was like, does this really make sense? Why am I doing this to myself? I really had to stick to plan.
Yeah.
So the exam day, alright, I got to the center early. People were super nice.
How many they had other students there?
Yeah, they had other students. They were like, but it was a really small center, so it was like only 3 spots, and there was one other student who was also doing step one.
Okay.
So I started my exam. I think it was like 7 blocks, I think. Yeah, I think it was 7 blocks.
How long is that block?
Block is an hour, 40 questions.
What?
After each block, I took a 5-minute break. I just needed a 5-minute break, and then I think between like a mid block, I did like a 15-minute break, like midway. So I took my lunch. So block 1 was good. Yeah. Block 2, alright. Block 3, you know, you going through.
Is it separated by system or like it's like
it's random? Random questions, everywhere. Random. Some questions were very, very weird. Some questions are very easy, just pass through them. Like a regular exam too.
Yeah, man.
And then, like at like the last block, like coming to the last block, I was so beat.
Yeah, could you imagine, bro? How long is it? It took like 7 hours or something?
Yeah, 7 hours, I think.
Yeah,
7 hours around there.
Bro.
I was so beat the last block. I think it's 8 hours and it's a 7
With
blocks.
the break.
And then a 1 hour block, 1 hour break. I think that's what it was. So I'm at that last block and I'm like, yeah. So like I was struggling because the thing is, not only that I was tired, I felt like that was my hardest block as well.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wait, so you can bring like food and coffee and that?
You have your own lockers that you know.
Okay. But overall, the experience
experience. It wasn't horrible to be honest.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't.
And you're on to the next stage. So when do you plan on doing step 2?
Well, I'm preparing. I'm not sure as yet because the thing is with step 2, you have your score that matters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's pass fail for step 1.
Pass fail for step 1. And I definitely want to maximize as much as I can with the score. Yeah. So I'm looking at when I really feel ready, I'm going to go on through. But I'm definitely preparing still. And see how I feel. Okay. And that's exactly what I did for step 1, to prepare and see how I felt. I knew I felt ready enough to pass. I did the exam.
So do you have to do it within a specific time?
Well, it depends on when you register. So if you register for a specific, what do you call it, a window period? Yeah, you have to do the exam within that window period. But if you don't, you still have an idea of when. Okay.
Well, all the best in that.
Thanks, man. Rough exam. Rough exam.
Yeah, man.
I feel accomplished. Actually, I've tackled it, and
Yeah. Alright, bro. So next question, I want to ask, what specialty do you think you want to pursue?
This is a very interesting question. Okay, so I like to think about the specialty that I'm going to do based off my experience, and not necessarily my experience on rotations, but how I feel about the subject. Yeah. Because your experience can be way different, but you still like the content. Yeah. Now, one of my favorite subjects thus far in med school definitely has to be clinical hematology. I know a lot of people go hate me for this, but just it was such an amazing subject.
Why though? Like, why do you?
I just feel like it was the first time in medicine where I was actually able to apply the information that I was learning at a clinical level and like assess the questions and use my application skills. Yeah. And it just made sense. Yeah.
I mean, I liked cleaning, but I felt because it was jumbled up with all those other courses.
That semester was horrible.
Yeah, it was a hard semester, bro.
That course specifically I really liked. Yeah. So I was looking at hematology, oncology specifically. I really liked. In terms of like actual clinical research, I love surgery. Yeah. So you never know. I'm a surgical oncologist.
I mean, there's definitely that.
But I'm still feeling out different rotations, seeing how I feel about them, and so I'm not really have a concrete.
But you opening your mind.
Yeah, opening my mind. Definitely opening my mind.
I'm definitely the complete opposite. Surgery and surgery are not together. That's what I want to do.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, man. Alright, so almost to the end now. So I want to ask you, do you think you'll ever return to St. Vincent when you're completely done with your training?
Definitely. 100%. I think that St. Vincent lacks specialists. And whereas you come to Jamaica, you see all these specialists within one confine. You're like, has St. Vincent even ever seen one of these specialists? And when, how often do they see them? But definitely would return to St. Vincent after I'm finished my training, just to help out, because I think that we need that extensive help. And they have fostered me, so how can I not foster them in some case, or some way or form?
Yeah. So you think you'll go back for internship or more so when you're done with everything?
I'm not sure. I still have to look.
Still have to think about it. Alright, no problem. Alright, so we're going into final year in a matter of basically weeks. Yeah, like probably less than a month now. So what are some of the things that you're looking forward to, and what are some of the things that you noticed from fourth year that you think that you want to improve on?
Bro, I'm looking forward to finishing.
Bro, say, I can't wait to be done, bro. You don't even know that.
But I'm actually looking forward to the journey of fifth year, and it's in its entirety.
Yeah.
One thing that I plan to change in fifth year, I think that in fourth year my structure to studying was a little bit off.
Okay.
Like I want to be a little bit more cohesive with going to my anatomy, going to my pathogens, going to my etiology. Going to a little bit more structure with everything. I definitely want to incorporate some more group studying as well in my fifth year sessions. Okay. I feel like I have been doing some group sessions, but I haven't been doing enough.
And it's hard because you're gonna be on a different
rotation. Exactly. That's where I was lacking. So that's one thing that I want to incorporate a little bit more in my fifth year. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it on a whole.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for it, but at the same time, I feel like where I was at when I just started fourth year and compared to now, I feel so much more clinically competent, and then I can only get better. Exactly. You understand? I can only get better, and so I'm like, I feel a little confident about it. So
I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, man. Okay. Alright, so what has been your favorite rotation of fourth year so far, and your least favorite?
Okay. Well, that's easy.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say for least favorite.
My top three, path.
Okay.
100%. Path was beautiful. Inspiration. And I think I had the advantage because I did path right when I finished step one. Yeah. So it was the information was just like then after path it would have to be a competition between ABS and EMED.
Yep. Bro, what?
EMED, I love it. I really liked EMED.
That's crazy.
I think EMED really had me on my feet, had me doing a lot of clinical hands-on approach. And that's one thing that I really lacked in the other rotations that I really appreciate EMED for. Yeah. And not just that, you actually had to know your stuff for EMED.
Yeah,
it was very clinically inclined.
Exam, you have to
very clinically inclined. I also really like the doctors in EMED. I think everybody was nice from my experience.
What do you do?
KPH.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I loved my UE duties as well. Yeah, I think EMED was...
I don't know if it's because of where I went, bro. EMED was like, I'm grateful for the knowledge I have now, but the actual experience was, oh my god, was so tough. Yeah. I also
have to definitely make up my consultant. He was so much academically inclined to the information. It really did make an impact on me. Yeah, so, be that type of person in the future. Yeah, and look at things that way. So I think that was really nice. And I mean, babies. Who doesn't love babies?
Yeah. Wait, so what about the least favorite?
Least favorite. Alright, so my least favorite would have to be. I'll go with comp health.
I mean,
I mean, don't get me wrong. The experience is nice. It gets to go to. I went to Trelawney. Really nice experience, but the content, no.
Bro, I see the importance of comp.
Me too, but
that rotation is way too boring for me. You get stimulation and you get something to do. And then they pair it with EMED. So it's like you do the most intense thing
and then you just
back down. I thought you were going to say ENT.
Well, I mean, that's definitely there too. That's definitely there too. But the thing is, the ENT, I actually like the course. It's just like examples.
I feel like ENT was like the first time I felt shocked. Like I was like every day go to school and feel shocked. But like the exam was definitely tough.
I did like ENT. I liked that you doctor really nice.
Yeah.
Buster was amazing.
Buster was my favorite.
Yeah, Buster was amazing. And Kid was just good too. Yeah, I like it.
I kind of agree with those, but email definitely.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, bro. Alright, so we're pretty much at the end. So I just want to ask you one more question. So I just wanted to share some advice with the upcoming fourth years. Just something you think that can help them to perform well this year.
Alright. So always remember that you're in a competition with yourself.
There's definitely more than one degree.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would also like to say to listen to your upper years, but don't take their advice for like word.
Yeah.
Just listen to them, have a gauge because everyone's experience is different in medical school.
Yeah.
Way different. Listen to your upper years. I'd also like to tell them to the same thing I do. Develop a routine, ensure that you know how to put in time, when to put in time. And just keep on doing what you have to do. I mean, you've made it thus far, but how hard it is to make it to fourth year and actually going through it.
Yeah.
So once you make it to fourth year, just continue doing what you have to do. It'll be fine.
I definitely agree with that. We don't really think of it that way because you just assume, okay, well, I have to make it to the next year. Anyway. But it's the work you have to put into actually continuously go through MedSpeed.
And I think that's another thing that I want to change in fifth year as well. I feel like in fourth year I've just been thinking I need to get to the next year. I need to get to the next year.
I'm not living in the moment.
Yeah, I'm not living in the moment. And I'm like, wait, I'm practically finished. What did I do? What did I,
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel now. I feel like I didn't spend enough time just trying to enjoy the rotations. I think somewhere along the way, especially I think when I reached on EMED, I realized I was literally trying to speed run life. I was like, I can't wait for this to be done. And I was like, bro, I'm not enjoying anything. And towards the end of EMED, I would say I hated EMED, but really and truly, I did like it somewhat. And I was like, bro, I literally know how to manage somebody by myself if the situation occurs. So that's something solid advice.
And be present too.
Yeah, go to school.
You learn a lot so when you're actually seeing things.
Yeah. Like sometimes you wouldn't want to go and then you end up having a really good day. Yeah, man. Alright, so thank you so much for being this episode.
Thank you for having me after what you say. How many years break?
What do you mean?
With the podcast, how much years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
2 years.
I don't know why. I don't
know.
And I was like, let me just do this one in person.
Yes.
So thanks so much for
man.
Thanks for all the best on your elective.
Thank you.